Hi Stays, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm reacting to Lino, Technique and Muscle, a Dancer's Analysis. Now, I was sent this, and I didn't know when I was ever going to be able to react to it because I've been kind of busy, but I have a little bit of time today, so I thought it would be fun. Now, since this is a Dancer's Analysis, it's by itorook. Hey, I know that's Haitian's line in NCT Dreams Boom. But so this must be an citizen doing this, or at least a fan of NCT. But and honestly, that'll be cool because I've said multiple times that Lino does really well with SM style type dancing. So I'd be interested to see someone who watches SM style dancing all the time and is now analyzing Lino. But because this is a dancer's analysis, I only did dance for like 10 years. So I don't have the knowledge this person probably has. So I'm not here to be like, I agree or I disagree. I just think it would be cool because I've said some stuff about Lino's dancing to see if how I view it and my perspective of it either varies or is similar to this person. Because this person, like I said, has more knowledge than I do. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into this.
가수가 되고 싶어.
The iconic Lino clip.
The member with the shortest training period in Stray Kids, is known for his incredible dancing skill even before his debut. Lino first began dancing when he was in middle school. Later he joined a dance crew and competed in big competitions.
Yes.
His ability was quickly noticed not just by JYP Entertainment, but also by BTS, as he was one of their backup dancers before joining JYP. And in more or less than a year, he was able to debut with Stray Kids. Today we're going to break down why. Before Lino was a performer, he was a dancer, a professional one, I might add.
Very true.
On top of that, he was under Bachelor of Practical Dance majoring in urban dance choreography when he was in conservatory. So he was on the road to becoming a professional choreographer. We can still see traits of a dancer in him. But that's not all that helped Lino debut fast. Lino is a textbook case of a perfect dancer. There are many components that make up a perfect dancer. One key component is technique.
I've said that.
Technique is the way in which the dancer uses basic physical movements in performance, or the ability to use fundamental physical
definitely
movements
has the best
effectively.
technique in Stray Kids.
Technical work lasts a dancer's whole career, and it's during this time that the dancer's body is formed. Because it is only when the dancer masters their body entirely that it gets easier to focus on artistry and musicality. This is what makes the difference between an amateur and a professional dancer. Lino not only masters one specific genre, but he also experiments with numerous techniques to challenge his body and completely comprehend his physicality. He takes all of these techniques, throws them in a blender, and explores the results. Some of the techniques often displayed by Lino are from hip-hop, jazz, and ballet.
He definitely has
I'll
a hip
use
hop
his
background.
performance for Mayfly's performance team, Wolf, in Road to Kingdom as an example. In this performance, we can see him showcasing his knowledge of jazz. Jazz technique generally utilizes parallel positions, which challenge the turned-out ballet preparation. Exhibit A. Although the motion was quick, we can see that Lino did the perfect lunge. His front foot is bent at a 90-degree angle, and his back leg remains straight. Exhibit B. In this clip, Lino's shin remained perpendicular to the floor whilst his left leg remained straight, creating a beautiful line. Exhibit C. For the kick, notice how he prioritizes putting his left hand and leg first. This is to ensure a steadier landing after he kicks. Dance involves an understanding of the rules defined by the discipline of technique. But to apply it and then coordinate movement, a dancer must first understand their own body. Lino follows this advice to a T, focusing on little details that ensure his body is capable of displaying a full range of motion.
True.
For instance, Exhibit A. Whilst they all swing their arms powerfully, notice how Lino is the only one who swung it until his hand is hidden behind his back, making it look clean. Exhibit B. During the turn, take note of how Lee No emphasizes the last swing by waiting for the turn to finish, and then scratching the camera. And here is how In and Felix do it. But how come In and Lee No look so different, even though they both face the camera when they swing their arm? Their posture when in the air is what makes the most of the difference. Lee No's posture has an animalistic feel, much like a bird trying to land.
And with a song like Wolf, that's kind of how you have to. Wolf is like Tiger Inside. It's another one of those you have to like give your body up to the choreo. Hey, I understand this reference.
It is still human-like. Aside from jazz, here are other techniques that can be seen throughout all his performances. Locking. Locking focuses on wrist rolls instead of rolling the elbows, unlike walking. It also focuses on a relaxed lower hips and legs in order for the dancers to dip easier. While dipping, the toes pointed outwards instead of standing on the tiptoes. Tap. Tap technique requires dancers to release their ankles, bend their knees, and find looseness in their joints to relax. Ballet. A grand plie requires your heels to naturally come off the ground. Otherwise, this movement will strain your ankles. Even though the weight shifts to the forward parts of your feet entirely, your upper body should be perfectly straight, meaning your center of gravity should still feel as though you are standing with legs straight. Nevertheless, any good technique will not only aim at technical expertise, but it will also aim to develop several movement skills such as stamina, flexibility, coordination, spatial and rhythmical clarity, as well as
I still need to watch this
muscle
dance.
strength. Muscular strength is best defined as the maximum amount of force that muscles can produce in a single maximal effort and the ability to exert a muscular contraction against resistance. Muscle strength is of the utmost importance to any technique. It is needed for the execution of the most fundamental movements and positioning. However, in dance, muscle strength is used in combination with speed, creating muscle power, which is one of the 4 ways to use power in dancing. Applying one or more of the sources of power creates greater speed and volume, hence improving the quality of your dancing. One source of power is gravity or kinetic power. Take the pendulum as an example. At the peak of the swing, there is the least amount of movement and the most potential power. The pendulum acquires kinetic energy as it descends, with the most energy released at the bottom of the swing. It has no potential power at this stage, relying only on the power that has been accumulated. Thankfully, we can use those elements to add additional power at the bottom of the swing, allowing a huge amount of additional swing by supplementing the kinetic energy with muscle power. Take a look at how the dance Ratches uses muscle power and gravity power in double knot, for example. First, notice how Lee No lifts his arm slightly above his shoulder. Gravity power begins when Lee No relaxes the joints of his shoulders, so that the arm essentially begins falling toward the floor. This lowering process generates kinetic energy that he can then borrow to move the arm forward. As the arm moves towards the point of maximum kinetic energy, he applies muscle power to amplify the effect of gravity. Hyunjin, on the other hand, does not use kinetic energy at all, depending solely on muscle power. Meanwhile, Felix made the mistake of applying muscle power too early, before the kinetic energy. Because Felix and Hyunjin are trying to muscle their way through this rigorous dance, they both rapidly run out of energy and get tired by the end of the dance. In addition, they can never achieve the amount of speed they are capable of. Lino didn't need to use
I don't
as
know
much
if I've
muscle
said
power
this
because he
on
applied the muscles at
camera,
the right
but I know
time.
I've at least told
It
people
made his dancing look effortless, with more natural
that like the
movements.
biggest difference between
Beginner
Hyunjin and
dancers tend to
Lino
only use
is
muscle power, as they have not yet learned about
Lino
the
knows how
proper
to
use of
balance his
rise and
stamina
fall to
better than
generate
Hyunjin
movement.
does.
Their movement is still small and they get tired easily. The more you integrate muscle power with natural forces, the faster and more volume you will achieve with less effort. This leads us to our next segment. Efficiency. Efficient describes action without wasted movement or unnecessary energy expenditure, as the level at which a great dancer actually gets to enjoy dancing. In the middle of unceasing commotion and challenge, the best dancers remain relaxed and able to enjoy themselves. From a practical perspective, dancing with efficiency helps you to conserve your energy and minimize wear and tear on the body. From an artistic point of view, it allows you to make big impressions out of little moments and lasting memories for those watching. As mentioned, being efficient includes learning how to manage and regulate your energy levels.
Yep.
Lino has complete mastery over this because if you notice, he doesn't have the tendency to over or under dance. He allows his body to pull back to about 70 to 80% capacity and not push his body to give 110%. Because firstly, this will cause the steps to not be clean and your movement to be uncoordinated. Secondly, you won't be able to dance for more than 3 minutes if you go 110% the entire time.
Yep.
Knowing when or which muscles to use
Oh.
helps with conserving your energy without looking like
That
you're
move.
underdancing as shown in
Didn't even know it was Lino at the time,
Exhibit A.
but still
Lino
killed me
uses
every
his whole
time.
body to pop and pushes his hand forward to look bigger. Whilst Han only uses his core, making him look extremely small in comparison to Lino. Exhibit B. By moving only the crown of his head, not only does this save energy, but it also creates the biggest visual in a small period of time. Exhibit C. By shifting his heels, he made the movement seem more fluid and bigger compared to the rest.
I live and die by this performance.
Aside from wrong muscle utilization, transitions are where people waste most of their energy. Efficient technical dancers know how to guide weight and momentum out of each step in ways that would help begin the next one. Observe how Lino transitions from the first movement to the next in this Gods do DDU choreography. Half the power necessary to execute a movement is borrowed from the one before. Transitions became easy, clean, and fast as he took everything he didn't need out of his dancing. This includes being unnecessarily fixated on specific shapes. Unless the choreography demands that balance or stillness, which in this case is not needed because the concept focuses on rough aggressive wide and hip-hop movements. Efficiency is closely tied to technique, as it is always better to be safe and execute movements correctly to help avoid injury while the body is strained and tired. Efficiency is also part of understanding muscle strength and power. In the end, everything is linked to each other. Lino spent time honing his skills after learning how all of these factors are related to one another. The man understands dance on a logical level as much as he does on an artistic level. And because of that, he was able to become the next big thing
in K-pop.
Yang. Okay. She must have done a lot of the Nias. Or they must have done a lot of the Nias. I'm not sure. But, pretty proud of myself because I have said on multiple occasions, most of these, I have never incorporated science in them because science was my worst subject. But, I've talked about Lino's stamina and how he is able to control his power and how he does a fantastic job of exuding a certain amount of power that is necessary at each time. So he has something left at the end, and he doesn't look he never looks tired on stage ever. And that's one of the biggest things I applaud him for. His technique. I've said it multiple times. Lino, to me, has the best technique in Stray Kids. I don't think that one's really debatable. But I've talked about how he focuses on the details of things, and that's why I'm like obsessed with his hand movements and everything, because even though it's so small, it just draws your attention in. I talked about this on my Tiger Inside video, that he dances to his fingertips. Everything is purposefully done. So, yeah, just super, super proud. And even if I haven't said it on my channel, like a lot of these things I've said to like other people when they've asked me about like what I think about the dancing of Stray Kids. There was something else that I just thought of that I can't remember. Heavy hip hop influence. I talked a little bit about that on my reaction to Tiger Inside, because I mentioned that Mark from NCT also has a heavy influence. So when Lino was doing Mark's part in Tiger Inside, he did the mannerisms of it very well, because they both have that type of background. I'm actually going to look at this person's videos real quick to see. Yeah, it's a bunch of NCT stuff, which is probably why we have a lot of the same opinions when it comes to Lino, because before I got into Stray Kids, of course, you guys know I watched nothing but SM dancers. And so that's just where I see, like, I thought he did the SM style very well, is because that's what I was used to seeing. I see she also has a Hyunjin one. I may do that one at some point. But yeah, definitely gonna pat myself on the back for. So even though I didn't take dance for very long, I still feel like I kind of know what I'm talking about, because if a dancer says the same things I'm doing, I'm saying that 10 years wasn't a complete waste. So, but yeah, literally could talk about Lino's dancing all day. I've wanted to sometimes sit and really like pick apart one of his solo projects, but it would take up so much time, and it would be a lot of pausing. I haven't uploaded it yet, or it may have been uploaded by the time this comes out. I recently did the all-in dance practice and talked about his insane core strength on that one. But yeah, man, love Lino as a dancer, and I'm glad that they used. I thought it was funny they used Wolf, because right before I started this, I talked about Lino doing SM style choreo, and they took portions of the original choreo from Wolf and incorporated it into that performance. And then they also used the God Studio to Do performance, which was the performance for me to like really see Lino. So that's funny. Me and itorook are on the same wavelength. So, but with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was fun. I know I didn't talk a lot during the video, but I didn't want to really like interrupt what they were saying, or miss something. But yeah, if y'all want me to do something else like this, y'all let me know. But with that being said, thank you guys for continuing to love and support the channel. Love you guys so much. This was a lot of fun. Love Lino. Love him as a dancer. I would be excited to see him do a Skiz record soon, whether it be his own choreo or something he wanted to cover. I would love to see him cover more SM things, because he does that style so well, and he does every style well, but they even used it to explain his technique in this video. I'm just going to throw out Tame an idea there. It's got a lot of popping isolations and also that like ballet type side of it. So I think it would be really cool for him. Even just like any Taman song, then I'm down. But with that being said, I will see you guys next time. Bye, stays.